Hello guys, if you don't recognize me, it's because I decided to cut my hair yesterday because of the heat here, and I'm kind of regretting it because I look like a career criminal. But I'm going to do a demonstration today for the Griffin frame, and it's such a great product. You're basically going to save so much money at framing, and you're going to do it all from home, and you're going to get a better result than a professional framer. I promise you, all at a fraction of the cost. And it actually means you can spend more money on your frame as well. So I'll start, I went to actually get a frame from Michael's. This is just to prove you can use any frame. And I couldn't get there in time. So I literally just got something from my wall. Don't laugh at me, Cindy, but you know how I feel about Bernie. So I'm actually going to take this out of the frame and use this to frame a piece of cross stitch. And so with a normal frame you'll get the backboard. You can use foam core board if it, for whatever reason, it doesn't have a backboard. Let's see here, and then this one's actually got glass as well. So we can leave the glass in. We'll see how it looks with or without glass. So the product itself comes in a packet like this, and you get 16 feet, which will do about 4 or 5 8x10s, or it'll do a couple of really big ones as well. And you can buy more than one pack depending on how big your piece is. And so the first step is to get the backboard out. And I don't know if you can see here, what the product is a bunch of little teeth, and there are these lips that are kind of like offset that wrap around the board, and they don't even require glue because they're offset. You kind of twist one off, one up, like so, and you can see it just kind of it holds onto there. So what happens is when you put it back in the frame, this additional thickness will mean that it won't go in the frame. So you've got to cut off an amount around the edge, and that's the hardest part, I promise. So there's a couple of ways of doing that. You can get a knife and a ruler, and if we measure the thickness here, I think it's about 3/16. So we'll take off a total of 6/16 from each side, because obviously 3 from there, 3 from there, 3 from there, and 3 from there. So to keep it easy, just take off, let's say 7/16, just to be sure. So I'm now going to measure here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I guess you could do this with a pen, but I'm just using this to mark it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is definitely the most difficult part of the whole thing. The rest is a breeze. So I'll show you another way to do it as well if you don't have a knife. This is a great thing to ask your husband to do if you don't feel like using tools. So I've cut it there, and that literally has come off now. And then, you know what, if you ever wonder what my scissors look like, I don't mess around. We have a lot of fabric to cut here, so I'll just cut off that extra there. And then I'm going to do the same for the other side now. So I said 7/16, didn't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, wonderful. And it's funny, when I brought this product to the US, I thought that it would do amazingly because it did so well in the shows in England, and it didn't do as well to the shops, because I was saying to the shops, and I figured out why. It's because a lot of the shops have framing as their main business, and what this product does is it removes the need for that business anymore. You can do it at home so much cheaper, so profit from that. Now the other way you could do this is you could draw a line, and if you get a decent enough pair of scissors, you can just cut it as well, like so. This is where, if you've got difficulty with the backing board, just use foam core board, because you can cut that with a regular knife. It's going to be so much easier, because this is like an MDF. It's kind of like a tougher material, but foam core will definitely hold up. So the next step is to get one of your strips, and starting in one top corner here, you just weave it. I'm just going one up, one down, one up, one down. Okay. Now, when you get to the end here, what do? A couple of options. You can just literally break it off like that. It's designed to do that. Or if you really want to, you can do it ahead of time, and you can just cut it with a pair of scissors. Obviously, be careful. And try and save pieces, because you can always use these little bits for your next project, but try not to cut any less than 3, because if it's got 2, it doesn't have that offset resistance, if you know what I mean. So, another strip here. That goes to about there. Break that off. And oh, before I forget, this does any shape as well. So you can do round, oval, hexagonal frames. Any shape that these can fit around, it'll work well with. So that's another benefit, and any size as well. So you could do a really massive frame. It just is exactly the same principle. So I'm finishing up here. And basically what this is doing is it's removing the need for lacing and pinning, which takes ages and it's inconsistent as well. So there you go. You now have a backing board that has a whole bunch of teeth around it. So I'm going to grab my stitched work. Does this seem familiar? So this is one of the designs that we're selling as well on We the People fabric. I haven't actually stitched this. I cheated, and this is like a print on here. But this is supposed to be your finished work now. Okay, so you get this, you lay it down as best you can, like so, and then you get your work on top, and then let's see, I'll do it this one. You basically get both hands, you stretch the fabric out, and then you bring it down. So in fact I should probably start in the middle there. So you stretch it out and down, and what you can see is the teeth catch on the fabric, and once it's on there, it's on there. So turn it around the other way, do the same thing, and then just keep on repeating that process like so. Now the best part of this system is the ability to adjust. Oh, and by the way, see how little I've got for framing? You could get away with even ½ an inch and you could still frame it using this method. So that's another benefit as well. Okay, so once you've got it on there, by the way, I've pretty much framed this now, you can see perhaps you might want to straighten it. So just spend 5 or 10 minutes going along the line. You know, you can pull a section off, you can put it back on again, like so. Because you spent, you know, sometimes hundreds of hours stitching something. Just spend you know, 5 or 10 minutes just getting it absolutely perfect. And what this allows you to do is get it dead straight, exactly down the thread. There's no other method that could do that. And it also gives it the tension as well that it needs to look really good. And the best part is, if you make a mistake, for example, she's a little bit, say, off to the left, you can take it off and just rework it. So once you're happy with it, and you would have spent, you know, 5 or 10 minutes perfecting it, you just place it back in the frame. And what I'll do is, you should probably get some masking tape. Let me see if I've got some. I've got some framers tape here. I can use that instead. So yeah, you just use masking tape or acid-free tape to kind of tidy up the back of your work. So I'm just taping this down. And it's at this point you can put the back pegs, twist them around so it keeps it down again. Okay, so you'd obviously spend another 5 or 10 minutes just neatly taping the back, just so that there's no fabric sticking out. I think they also sell like a brown paper as well to do this. So yeah, just tidy up the back, and then when you're done, there we go. It's framed, and you can also have the option of taking the glass out if you wanted to. There's also an option as well to put a padding on to give it that raised effect. So say you didn't have glass and you wanted to wash this, or you wanted to adjust it. The great thing with this system is it's completely adjustable. So you can do that like so, and then you just remove it like so. Now once it's in place, there's no way, because of it's actually physically holding onto the fabric, it's going to move. It'll never slip. Regardless of humidity or temperature changes, it's always going to be taut like that. However, if you want to take it off, you just turn it the other way around, and you reverse the process by just pulling it out like so. Perhaps you've got a piece or an area at the top of the stairs, a frame that you love, and you want to change it seasonally. You can just put different work in there as well. So once you've got it out, give the fabric a little bit of a massage here. I'm using our cotton even weave. Oh, but it's very important, this works with all fabric types. It works with Aida of all counts, even weaves, and linens of all counts as well. It even works with needlepoint canvases, but bear in mind with needlepoint canvases you'll have to mist it, because it's so starched, the canvas, it's difficult to stretch it around the edges. So that's a little tip. And don't forget, all of this is in the instructions, and Cindy and I will be available in the comments to answer any questions you've got as well. So just to prove how good it is as well, let's give this a really good scrunch. Oh, how bad does that look? That's terrible. So let's see how good this really is at keeping it taut. So I'm going to try and center this a little bit better this time. Now a common question I get is, does it damage the fabric? Obviously, because these are pins going through the fabric. Absolutely less than pinning or lacing, because that's really aggressively pulling from one area. And if you just run your fingers through the area like that, it removes any trace of holes that were there, at least on a quality fabric. And so I'm just stretching this out here now, and you can see that the wrinkles are coming out immediately. There's no way you'll ever get this level of tension on any other method. Oh yeah, and I was supposed to mention as well. So obviously you'd put your padding in this section here before you put it on, and you can use like that quilting padding, cut it to size, a little bit of double-sided tape, and then just put it up to the edge here, and it gives it that beautiful raised effect. So I'm just going to carry on here, and I want you to see how these adjustments allow it to straighten out. Now it's very important that you stretch out. Don't just pull down, because the fabric needs to be stretched out before it can come down around the teeth. Otherwise, if you're frustrated and saying why it's not working, it's because you're just trying to pull it down. You need to pull it out and then down. So out, you see how I'm stretching the fabric out, and then pull it down over the teeth. So So yeah, do you remember how scrunched up that was? You cannot see a single line. It's almost as it's better than if it was ironed. So there we go. So again, this time, why don't we try it with no glass. So again, same principle, you fold these edges here, you tidy up the back, put these edges on. There we go, finished product. Alright guys, I'll see you again hopefully for another video, and have a great weekend.